Macho Talks Sports now. Macho Talks Sports. Macho Talks Sports. Macho Talks Sports.
Welcome to a special live edition of Macho Talks Sports, episode 16 to be exact. And I'm here with my boy Daniel Flores. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing great, bro. Doing great. It's definitely a great night anytime the Magic can get a win against the Golden State Warriors. So it's a great night.
Hey, they've been looking good. They've been looking good. We're gonna get into that for sure. Got a couple people in the chat here. That's my baby right there. Johnny boy, what's good, bro? Had him on Macho Talk Sports. Good guy, good guy. We got a lot of topics to get into today. Unfortunately, our boy Omar and Ryan couldn't make it this week and possibly for the next couple of weeks, to be honest. Ryan currently in the middle of moving from places to places. Omar and his wife just welcomed their first child, so congrats to them.
Right.
That's huge. That's huge. Big congrats to both of them, honestly. But either way, we still have a great show for you guys, and we got a lot to get into. But the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to start with the NFL, and we are going to kick it off to here. Now, I'm showing this for a reason, and that is because I want to talk about the Chiefs real quick as you see me wearing Mahomes. The Chiefs lost 2 in a row, man. They lost 2 in a row. Not only that, I mean, they're currently not even in the playoff picture, as you can see.
I was going to say, they're not on the screen right now.
It's weird, isn't it? The week 12, not to see them up there. Currently 5-5 right now. My question for you is, are the Chiefs going to miss the playoffs?
Dude, it honestly, if they don't win their next 2 games, yeah, dude, I think seven losses is probably the magic number, simply because Denver is pacing, and then you have the Chargers are just right behind there. I think there. It's between them and the Chargers probably to get up there. But but even as a whole, the whole wild card, the Ravens are actually right behind them as well. So it's the AFC. It is stacked from top to bottom. Somehow, as we know, the Steelers are in it. So that's, that always happens regardless of how the season goes. We're just taking up a spot. We're taking up a spot and from there, let it fall how it may fall. But yeah, it is definitely looking like it. Their defense is good. We know that. Their offense, we thought that getting some weapons back, it was definitely going to help and all that. But they don't look like the Chiefs at the moment. They really don't. They really don't.
So, I mean, even if you look at the schedule isn't even easy either. I mean, they got Indiana as the next game, one of the top teams in the NFL right now. Dallas defense. That's most likely loss number 6. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs win it, but I'm also not betting on them to win it, unfortunately. I mean, Dallas puts up a lot of points. Houston, the opposite. They bring down your points. Great defense there. And they're 5-5 too, respectfully. I mean, even with CJ Stroud missing last week, most likely going to miss this week too. Like, that defense is that good. It just keeps them in games. The Chargers we'll talk about later, but yeah, this isn't exactly the easiest schedule, even for someone like the Chiefs. I think they're going to miss the playoffs, and that's crazy to say out loud.
Just looking at the remaining schedule, if you can muster up 2 wins for sure in Tennessee and the Raiders. And the Raiders is, kind of a toss-up because it is a in-division rival, but if they dominate the Raiders. So, yeah, we'll call it a W. 2 wins. Indianapolis, a loss. Dallas, that's a toss-up. I mean, Dallas is, but that offense can definitely move the ball. It's just, and they play so well at home. But, yeah, man, that Houston and Chargers, that week 14, week 15 is going to tell us literally everything we need to know about what's going to happen moving forward. But if you were a Chiefs fan, like, I know they're not accustomed to being 5-5. They're not accustomed to losing. That this technically doesn't mean that the dynasty's over either. At some point, Andy Reid and Mahomes and the shell of what is Travis Kelce can wake up and just be like, hey, how about we just win the next 5 games? Let's just go out there and win the next 5 games.
Like, wait, hold up. We're actually gonna let's just turn it up. Let's just crank that notch a little bit. I think for me, it's. I mean, I hate to get to bet against Mahomes, but like currently where they stand, and then how the rest of their schedule looks, it's not looking good for them. And I think that slow start and then the lack of a running game, that's something that needs to be emphasized a lot. I mean, they were one of the people, if not the top person, when it came to the Breece Hall trade rumors, and they only wanted to give up a fourth instead of a third. That greediness on their part, not wanting to give up the third, might bite them in the ass, honestly. Because imagine someone like a Breece Hall on that offense, they'd be running on all cylinders at this point. But
they really would. But at the same time, it's not like they try to run the ball, but they don't stick with running the ball either. So it could be a little bit of the play call. And of course you have Mahomes. Why in the world are you going to take the ball out of his hands like every other snap? But yes, there needs to be a commitment to the running game, because right now in the AFC, if you notice up and down, all of them have at least a respectable running game. Now, what's going to determine there is your running defense. I think that's what's going to be the determining factor in the AFC playoffs.
That's a good point. We'll stick to the AFC with the next topic, and that's the Chargers, man. The Chargers took a terrible loss to the Jags. They're currently 7-4, which is a great record. But in 4 of their last 6 games, as you can see here, they face the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Cowboys, and the Broncos. Right. On top of that, I mean, just the way that they looked in that game and how compromised that offensive line is looking. My question for you is, do you think they could finish strong and make the playoffs, or do you think like they're gonna just flame out at this point?
They have great wins and some terrible losses. I mean, you look at the Giants loss. I know they flew cross country. I know it was the Jackson Dart kind of like the whole the legacy flash in the pan. Yeah, legacy game, exactly. First game starting, and okay, we'll take that. But the Commanders and the Colts, I mean, obviously, but they look terrible against the Jaguars. They couldn't have done that in week 10. I guess not, but they did. They beat the crap out of us. But it's going to come down to just winning your division games. You win against the Raiders, you lose against the Eagles, and once again, same with the Chiefs. That week 15 matchup is going to tell us a lot on either team. Yep. Either team. I think that can go either way. They both play each other very, very well. Obviously, they played the Chiefs all the way back in Brazil with the pineapples, and we know exactly what was happening that week 1, which seems so long ago. Yeah. But yeah, week 15, I have that one circled. I think that one's going to tell us if they can stay in the playoff hunt and in the race and moving forward to see what they're capable of.
Yeah, for me, I think this is another team that might miss the playoffs, but for different reasons, to where like just injuries have kicked their ass. And it showed so much in that Jags game. I mean, not only the offensive line is so important for so many reasons, obviously, but like another part of that is one, Omarion Hampton has been hurt since like week 6. Vidal came in and had some pretty good games, but there's only so much you can do behind that offensive line. So it's been very inconsistent. And then he got banged up last week as well. Also, Herbert got a little banged up, got like damn near power drive onto the turf or grass. I don't know if they had turf or grass. I'm so used to MetLife, unfortunately. But I mean, like if you can't get nothing going on the running game, and then the offensive line isn't holding up strong enough to block for Herbert, who's like he's currently on a historic pace right now for the amount of hits that he's taken, which is crazy. And this is somebody that already kind of has an injury history too coming into his career. So it's like you need to protect. This is a franchise. This is not just a regular quarterback. This is their franchise quarterback. They know he's the guy. They know that he's the guy for the future, and you need to protect him. And unfortunately, they built a good offensive line. It's just the best 2 just happened to get hurt. One before the season, one during the season. And it's an unfortunate luck situation with them. But, I mean, looking at the rest of that schedule, I could see it happen, especially if the O-line doesn't hold up. Now, if the O-line holds up, Omarion Hampton is scheduled to come back week 13, but it hasn't. I mean, the bye week hasn't even got here yet. So we got to see if he gets some practices in before week 13. Whether he comes back or not, though, that O-line needs to hold up. The defense looks compromised every once in a while. And like you said, like they have some really bad losses as well with some great wins. Like week 10, they look great against you. And then week 11, they get destroyed by the Jags. The week 3, they beat the Broncos, who has one of the best records right now, and then lose to the Giants the next week. It's like, I don't know who this team is. We were talking about them like a Super Bowl contender towards the beginning of the season. And even though they have a good record, it's been flaming out.
It's kind of like the Charger way. You know, they do tend to have always kind of like an up and down season, and then injuries always take a toll on them. But it's not like they haven't tried to protect Herbert. It's just like you said, it's just their 2 best offensive lines just happen to get hurt on the same year, and they're out for a long time. They just have to hold up. They have to hold up against Max Crosby. They have to hold up against the Eagles front, which is absolutely dominating. Then they have to hold up against the Chiefs and those boys over there. And now your boy over there that plays for the Cowboys now that apparently changed that whole defense. Who I don't know. And then the Texans defense is no joke. And then of course, then you finish out the year with the number
Broncos.
Number 1, number 2 defense.
Hopefully for them, the Broncos already clinched at that point. Maybe they take the foot off the gas and bench a couple players. But I mean, unless they do that, you're not feeling good about that game.
I mean, with the Colts, the Patriots, they're all in the mix for that first round bye. So they might not.
That's true. That's a good point. So do you have them making the playoffs, or do you think they miss it? If you had to put money on it.
If I had to put money on it, and honestly, just looking at the overall playoffs right now, exactly. There we go.
I mean, they're 6, so they're right there in the mix.
They would have to literally they would have to take care of business against the Chiefs, and I think they can, but then they're gonna have to hold off the Texans, which I think that's possible because the Texans are okay. And then the Ravens have a very favorable schedule, but then it will be just up against Jacksonville, which they just lost to, and a tiebreaker. If it comes down to, it's still a 50-50. I'm just going to say no, just because Jacksonville, I think, is a little bit healthier team moving forward.
Yeah, I see Jacksonville taking that number 6 spot, and then I'm trying to think who might jump up to 7, but I could definitely see them falling out. And then if they fall out, maybe the Chiefs is that team that comes up a little bit. But again, their schedule isn't looking very favorable as well. So it's like that 6-7 spot is wide open right now. Wide open.
Hey, as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, I keep telling everybody, the Ravens' schedule is very, very nice, and it's lining up very, very nicely to where they can possibly run the table, and they're gonna start winning some games here. And this whole 6, 7, hell, even 5, that's all gonna start shuffling all over the place, and the Steelers aren't even favored to win the AFC North. Not yet.
No, it's wide open. But maybe it's a situation where 2 of you guys make it. One wins the North and the other one comes in as the wild card, because that schedule, I mean, that record's so close. What is it, a game? And that's half a game?
That's typically, it's just it's a game. Okay. That's typically the case. But with the AFC, what is Denver? AFC West, right? With the AFC West being so stacked this year, I mean, there's a chance that,
it's tough, man. It's tough. We're gonna go from the AFC to the NFC though. I want to talk about these Rams right now, because these Rams are 8-2. But if you look at that 8th spot right there, they currently hold pick number 8 due to the trade with Atlanta. And my question for you is, we know how great Matthew Stafford is, but this is probably the 2nd or 3rd year coming into the season where you're constantly hearing his back issues. He's currently having just injury history that's currently always nagging him, and he's at that age where it's probably not going to get much better from here, especially as he keeps playing with it. So my question for you is, let's say they end up with a top 10 pick here. Like, is their strategy, let's try to draft a quarterback this year, whether Stafford decides to play again next year or not, just so that we can kind of have somebody in the wings ready to play? Or is it more so, let's keep trying to build to win now? This is a piece that we could, get a wide receiver. We could get a DB. We could get edge or something like that. Like, well, what do you think the Rams do with this pick?
I honestly think, I don't think they'll go quarterback. And that's just because of the belief they have in the team they've built so far, and they can add a piece. And we don't know what this year is going to end up looking like. If they win the whole thing, I mean, we don't know. Then it's kind of like, okay, let's go and get our quarterback now. If they are just right there,
retires if they win it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If they're just right there, then yeah, they don't go quarterback. They'll add whatever game they lose to in the playoffs. If it was a running game, if it was a cornerback, then I think they'll go and fill the need, trade back, or start kind of adjusting. But they're in a tough spot. I mean, it's the same spot that the Steelers were a few years ago, and you saw how that went. We didn't actually go out and draft a quarterback, and now we're playing with another 41-year-old quarterback, and he has a broken hand, and we're kind of like in limbo land. They have to start planning for the future. I truly believe that it just depends on what happens this year.
Okay.
I really believe that. And Stafford can throw it. He can throw it.
Great.
He can be 60 and he'll probably still be throwing it all over the place. It's back issues. They're scary.
Yeah.
But no, I'm gonna say no. I think they'll actually fill a need, call it one more year, and then go from there.
So if I'm them and they're at 8 right now, let's keep them at 8 at the end of the year. If a quarterback falls in my lap, there's typically about 2 to 3 quarterbacks that are constantly being talked about this draft when it comes to the first round. If one of those 3 falls into my lap, I would probably take a quarterback. Even if they don't win it all, even if Stafford is committed to coming back, the reason I would go with quarterback is because I want to bring another person in here with some high caliber, just upside. And this is the only year that I can see myself having a top pick like this, because this is a team that's ready to win now, basically.
That's loaded.
One team that's not ready to win now is the Jets. I'm sorry, Johnny. I'm sorry. I wish. Tyrod coming in, though. Let's see what happens. We've been rooting for Tyrod to come back in. But the reason I would do that is just because this. I don't see us having another, like, if I'm the Rams, I don't see us having another top pick for a while, because our team is great. Now, if we can just replace Stafford and put another great quarterback in there, even whether that be a rookie or a vet, they're coming into one of the best situations for a quarterback. So if I can do that, then I'm doing that. Now, if there's no quarterback available, I'm not reaching for one. I'm not trading up to get one. I'm taking best player available, or I'm even willing to trade down to try to see if I could just keep stacking this team, because this team is built really well. Me and you have been really high on the Rams coming into this season. And I just love their situation, man. That it's crazy because they have the Atlanta pick, and Atlanta is one of those other teams that have just been they look so inconsistent. Like they have a really good defense sometimes, and their defense just falls flat. They have an amazing running game, and then Drake London, like that nice 1-2 punch, and then it disappears sometimes. It's like, what I don't know exactly what to think about Atlanta right now. So they could possibly even get a higher pick at the end of the year based on how they play.
Just to spitball, kind of just looking at this little scenario here. What do you think that with the situation that they're in, the Rams trade back with the Arizona Cardinals and they get Kyler Murray, and then Arizona can go out there and get whatever replacement quarterback they need to or something, and then they kind of have a quarterback that it's a former number 1 overall pick. We know that what he can do. Maybe he just needs a change of scenery. With McVay, I mean, he can honestly make anything work. It's kind of like the whole Kyle Shanahan thing. They just plug and play. But Yeah. I mean, we don't know. And Stetson Bennett, he is he's a dude, but he might be better with the Cardinals. I don't know.
I like that scenario though. I like that scenario. If I'm Arizona, I would try to do that. I was talking to somebody who
they're moving on from him. They literally
exactly.
said, even if he's healthy, Jacoby Brissett's our guy.
I think there's something in his contract though that where if he was to get traded, he would kind of have to sign off on it. It's not technically a no trade clause, but based on the way that his contract's set up, I believe if they did trade him, he has to sign off on it. And because he's so mad at the Cardinals, there's a chance that he doesn't sign off on any trade and forces them to cut him to try to foot that bill. And then he goes to whatever his new team, maybe that's still the Rams for some reason. And I want to go to the Rams, but I want the Rams to keep that 8th pick because then that could be another weapon for me. That could be someone else on the defense. So, but I do like that scenario to where him possibly going to the Rams. I low key want him to come to the Jets. I didn't want him before because of that contract. That contract scared me. And I was completely against it. But when they brought up the scenario of him getting bought out or him getting cut, if we can get him for cheap and we don't have to trade any of our first, it may be even if it comes to a bidding war and we give up maybe a second or something like that. Like depending on what we give for him and how much we have to pay him, I don't mind him coming to the team because we don't really have a quarterback. I'm not super sold on any of these quarterbacks coming in. I think they're pretty good. But also, we're not great at developing a quarterback. So, like, if we could get somebody in here that's really kind of developed, I don't see Kyler getting any better or hopefully any worse. So, if we could just bring him in and then use those picks to just stack up and try to give him some weapons. We have a great offensive line that can block for him. We have a good running game if we keep Breece Hall. So, but if I'm him, how do you turn down the Rams?
I mean, exactly. Going into a situation like that where literally you are the missing piece, I don't see why he wouldn't waive the no trade clause. And I wouldn't see why he wouldn't sign with them. The Jets would have to sell me hard for me to sign over there. But yeah, if Arizona were to pay for a good chunk, kind of like the whole Russell Wilson.
Right.
After it happened to Russell Wilson, now it's like there's no really real guaranteed money that any team's willing to take on just to get him out of the building and on to the next thing, unless you're Cleveland with Deshaun Watson. But that's a discussion for another day.
Hopefully that day never comes. I don't ever want to. That was the dumbest situation in the world. And now they had to draft 2 quarterbacks. Yes, they had to draft another quarterback. They got rid of the best quarterback that was on their roster to a divisional rival, and now that was a shitty situation all the way around. But going from that shitty situation to another one, let's talk about these Titans right here. The Tennessee Titans are currently 1-9, right? They currently hold the number 1 pick going back to this one right here, 1-9. Obviously, there's a bunch of teams, including the Jets, that are right on their heels. But the way that they're playing, it looks like they might end up keeping that number 1 pick. Now, my question for you is, let's say they end up with the number 1 pick. Has Cam Ward shown you enough to where I'm not even thinking about drafting a quarterback, or has he left the door open to where you're open or at least entertaining the idea of drafting the quarterback here?
I don't think you should draft a quarterback, and simply because you were the number 1 pick last year for a reason, and that's because the entire team sucked. And you're throwing in a top quarterback into a situation like that. I mean, what can you expect? Yes, he's shown flashes, but yes, he's left a lot to be desired, but there's only so much you can do. The Tennessee Titans as a whole, as an organization, as from ownership all the way down, they are a complete mess. I mean, just getting rid from Mike Vrabel to the whole AJ Brown situation, to the Derrick Henry situation, to it just keeps on going and going and going. As an organization, they're not looking as hot. And then firing their coach in the middle of the season this year. I mean, again, there's only so much you can do and expect for Cam Ward this season with that type of roster, that type of leadership, that type of just overall situation. And the guys coming out of this year's draft, I mean, we were all high on Archie Manning, and it's not looking so hot. No, I think that they have way too many other issues to address that. Just you have a young guy, try to develop him. Sometimes it takes time, and just kind of just right through it. You have a guy he's capable. He's shown flashes. It's just a matter of developing and just build around them and then start evaluating. But they need a lot of pieces. A lot.
They do. They definitely do. If I'm them, I'm sticking with Cam Ward too, except if if they're in love with a quarterback that's in the draft, whoever they may be, the Fernando Mendoza or something like that.
Baller. If
they can trade Cam Ward to pick him up, and then with that pick that they trade Cam Ward, get some picks. I don't know what his trade value would be, unfortunately, because I mean, obviously he's still a rookie, he's still young, he's a quarterback. He hasn't shown you anything bad other than showing you that this team around him is bad. I would think you can still get a first for him at least. I mean, Sauce went for 2.
That's true. And I was once again, is that a move that the Jets are willing to make?
And a team like that could be open to, or maybe even the Rams or something like that. We were just talking about let him sit behind Stafford for a year or two, however long Stafford wants to play, and then let's see what can happen here. Let's see what Johnny got to say about it. Cam Ward is that dude. If I'm not mistaken, he might have the most drops by the wide receiver in the league. Honestly, I don't know if that stat is 100% correct, but I wouldn't be
Jordan
surprised.
Love, I think it's the other guy.
And that's why I was thinking that, because the Packers still drop everything.
Yeah, they still can't catch.
Coming out with this class, he would still be the top quarterback in this class. I think so too. I think so too, for sure. You look at his stats, it's nothing impressive, but it's like you got to watch the actual games, and you see that he has nobody around him. Absolutely nobody around him.
Great potential, and he throws the fastball like no other. But and it's fun to watch. He needs a little touch, but that comes with a little time.
Yeah, you see receivers just doing this every once in a while. Yeah. Now, so that would be my one thing. So if I could find, if I'm in love with the quarterback, is I guess technically 2 things. If I'm in love with the quarterback and then I can find a good trade partner for Cam Ward, then I would do that. But otherwise, if I'm them, I'm open to trading back, because if we go back to here, if I have the number 1 pick, most of the teams that need a quarterback aren't that far down. If you can trade back with one of these teams that need a quarterback, I'll say that's the New Orleans Saints. Go from 1 to 4 and just pick up a haul for that number 1 pick, because like we were saying, they need everything. They need something on both sides. A couple of things on both sides of the ball. Let me go back to these Titans over here. You look at their rankings for offense and defense, they're on the bottom of damn near everything.
They're bad.
It is ridiculous, man. Imagine him with Sean McVay. Exactly. Mm-hmm. And not just him, but also with Puka, also with Kyron Williams, like weapons like that and a defense like that in LA. Mm-hmm. He would be a baller. He'd be a Pro Bowler probably. I wouldn't put it past him. So if I have the number 1 pick and I'm dumb and I'm not looking to get a quarterback, I'm looking to trade back with one of these teams down here, whether that be New Orleans, whether that be the Jets, whether that be Vegas. I'm even willing to go to 6-7 like that. You can still go ahead.
1 through 10, outside of maybe the Giants, the Washington Commanders, the Bengals, and the Rams. Again, just depending on what they do, all of them there can use Cam Ward.
Yeah,
literally all of them.
Or just trade the number 1 overall pick and just try to get a haul and build up that team, because they need a lot, man. They need weapons, they need defense, they need playmakers. And then am I not mistaken, did they not let go of Variable last year, or did Variable finish his contract?
No, they fired him.
They fired him.
Yeah, they did fire him.
So they fired him last year and then got a new coach and then fired him mid-year. So they went through 2 coaches in less than a year.
And the owners didn't even show up to that press conference. They were apparently too busy. That's great for the fan base to see, right? When your owners just don't give a crap.
6-7. Listen, Johnny Boy, that's a song. that happened from a song. It was a song, and then in the music video he went like this. And then some kid did it on TikTok, and then it just exploded.
It's all over the place now.
What's it mean though? Nothing.
Nobody knows what it means. Nobody.
It's provocative. That's it. It's provocative. Kids love it. So speaking of provocative, actually, that's a good segue. George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb were benched in the first series of the game last night. And I want to know, do you think that there's trouble in Dallas, or do you think it was just something that had to do with them two?
Dude, one, you're the Dallas Cowboys. Two, Jerry Jones is your owner. There's always trouble in Dallas, dude. There's always. It's like the dumbest thing. It's like, okay, yeah, here's a slap on the wrist for whatever we did, because they haven't even said what it was. Yeah. I mean, for all we know, they were play fighting, and I don't know. Like, we don't know. It's like, yeah, just sit for a series, and then there we go. Come back to the game, and it's all fine. I mean, George Pickens has a career day. Yay, good job to the Steelers for trading them. But anyways, yeah, there's always something going on in Dallas. It may just be some type of, again, just something dumb. Maybe they got into a fight with the cornerbacks or something in practice. But again, you're the Cowboys and Jerry Jones is your owner. There's always trouble in Dallas.
If I had to speculate, they were going against the Raiders. They were in Las Vegas. I think they were just acting a damn fool on that strip.
Yeah.
Missed a couple meetings.
Got there real late. Yep.
Right. Missed a couple meetings. They were just doing whatever the hell they wanted to do. And the coaches they had to do something. They're like, all right, you at least missing the first series because I can't look like a punk. But then I think they went 3-0 in that first series. Like, let's get back in. Get back in. Yeah. Oh, man. I mean, I think this bench improved more to the Cowboys than it did to these two. Like, it proved that you need them. It doesn't matter. They can kind of do whatever they want. I feel like whatever the hell they did, and then after getting suspended for a series, that didn't make them feel like, oh, well, we got to be on our P's and Q's now. It just made us think, well, we can do whatever the hell we want because look how the product looks when we're not on the field. So if you want to suspend us, you want to take us out for a couple of series, that's only going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt me. So if I had to speculate, that's what I would think. Let's get into this. Why are they hyping Quinnen Williams? He played against the Raiders. I mean, still though, that he definitely did play against the Raiders, but at least for me, it felt good watching Quinnen Williams get that sack. Like, I want him to play good. Again, is that going to maintain throughout the season? Probably not. Like you said, it was the Raiders for sure. But I was just happy to kind of see him happy for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. And we really don't know. That Dallas defense may have changed overnight, but it is the Raiders. But the Raiders do tend to throw some random crazy games together with some crazy stats. But we know Quinnen Williams is going to ball out every single time. He's so good. He really is good, man. Good.
I mean, he was good for us, and we didn't do anything. So it's
sucks that he plays for Dallas.
Yeah. Hopefully he doesn't resign with them. I need to, because I want to root for him, but I just hate the jersey he wears.
Yeah. I mean, Jerry Jones has some decisions this offseason. I mean, he had a major one this offseason as well, but he has to find out exactly, what he traded for, which we know pretty decent, but he is getting a little older. Does he pay him? Then George Pickens, what do we do there? They just paid CeeDee Lamb an arm and a leg, and we just saw how the Bengals look like when you pay two of the top receivers and they really don't have nothing else. Is Dallas going to do the same thing? And that's not how you build a team either. So I don't know.
Let's see how he does in Detroit and Philly. No, those are going to be great tests for him for sure. Let's see how he does. But I think regardless how he does, they're still going to have to pay him because of what they gave up for him. Like, it'd be crazy to give up a first and a second. And not only did they give up a first, they're giving up whichever one is the highest of the two, which means both of them are technically locked. So they can't even move the second one. So their hands are tied. So if they did all that, tied their hands, got rid of those picks, and now they can't even make a move, like, they have to basically pay him. Their hands are tied. They have to pay him. And if they don't, then they look like an idiot. I mean, they've shown that they're not scared to look like an idiot by trading away Parsons. But I mean, again, he's going to do whatever is best for media. He's not going to do what's best for the team.
It's Jerry Jones, baby. His world, it doesn't matter what anybody else says.
100%. 100%. So I did want to ask you also. Yes. I mean, we looked at all these teams. I'm going to bring it to here. Actually, matter of fact, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to this playoff tree while I ask you.
Yeah.
I want to ask you if you had to pick one team that's gonna end up in the first seed for both the AFC and the NFC, who would those teams be and why?
Oh man, I as much as I would like the Steelers to finish number one.
Come on now.
I know that's yeah, nah. I have to be realistic. Denver honestly is looking real good. They're set up honestly to just either run the table or kind of just kind of keep pace with the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts, they do have a test. I know it's the Chiefs is a shell of the Chiefs. We don't know exactly what's going to happen there. I think that's a big test for them on either side. So I think it actually stays on the AFC. It kind of stays how it is. I don't think New England manages to kind of sneak in there and finish the top seed. That would be incredible. And then Vrabel will absolutely win Coach of the Year, I think, hands down. As far as the NFC, of course, you have the Eagles there, and the Eagles they're odd, right? They're almost like the brand new Chiefs, to where their stats don't look great. Their defensive metrics, yes, they're good, but their offense is like lower the league, like just bottom of the league in a bunch of categories. They're just winning close games, and that's really what good teams do. They're just figuring it out. Kind of how the Chiefs were, like 12-0, I think, for the last 2 seasons, and this year they're like 0-5. It looks like it's just the Eagles' turn to kind of just go through this whole thing. But I think the Rams actually are going to finish number one there, and I think that would actually put them as Super Bowl favorites if the Eagles have to leave, their bird's nest. I think they're beatable. I really do. I think they're beatable. So I'll just call it Rams, and we'll just leave the Broncos as is right now, with maybe the Colts, maybe.
Okay. Johnny Boy actually agrees with you. Denver
Nice.
and Rams. So he called that perfectly.
Smart man.
For the AFC, I disagree, and it's going to pain me to say I think the Pats win it. I do think the Pats win it, and specifically because if you look at the rest of their schedule, they got the Bengals, they got the Giants, they do have the Bills, which is going to be a tough game. They have the Ravens, which if the Ravens are in their turn-up mode to try to get that last spot, can also be a tough game. But then they finish off with the Jets and the Dolphins. So that's almost 4 guaranteed wins for the most part right there. And then those 2 tough games, which, I mean, the Patriots have shown they can play tough teams. So I can see the Pats sneaking into that number 1 spot. And then also Bo Nix he's shown a lot to be desired. He's had some pretty up and down games. So unless he just maintains a really good, consistent line throughout the rest of it, then I could definitely see them finishing with the number 1 seed, especially with that defense. That defense is amazing. That running game does look a little hurt with J.K. Dobbins out, which is crazy because I thought R.J. Harvey would just step in. But they're still doing a committee. They got Jaleel McLaughlin coming in, and I don't understand it. If they give R.J. Harvey the bulk of the carries, they should be fine. But if they keep running that tandem, that might bite them in the ass because that running game was a big part of their offense. So I do have the Pats on the AFC side. And then when it comes to the NFC side, I got the Rams. I got the Rams for sure. I think the Rams are one of the best teams out there. You look at the rest of their schedule as well. They got teams like the Bucks, which is a tough team, but the Bucks, that defense looks very compromised. That offense is still very hurt. So they can definitely beat them. They got the Panthers, who, I mean, they look fun. I will give you that. They look fun. They have a nice record, but when it comes to Super Bowl caliber teams, it's just a different level. The Panthers aren't on that level yet. So, I mean, good for them for having a really good season to their expectations, but the Rams are going to bring them down to reality. Then they got the Cardinals, which, I mean, Jacoby Brissett looks like a monster. He's looking like a monster, which is weird to say out loud. But yeah, I still got the Rams winning that. The only tough games I see them having in the last 6 games are the Lions and the Seahawks, and then they finish it off with the Falcons, which again, Falcons super inconsistent this year. So I think the Rams end up sneaking in there with with the Eagles. To what you've been saying, they win a lot of close games.
Mhm.
Their offense, though, I mean, I don't understand it. When you have the weapons that they have, and to be as bad as they are on offense, I mean, we talk about these good teams, it makes no sense. Something has to give. You got AJ Brown going on these live streams playing Madden, just acting like he's a hostage, and something has to give there. I think they're going to implode. I mean, obviously, we've talked about it since last year, but I think this is the year because wide receivers are pretty selfish. He doesn't care how much they win. He wants the goddamn ball, and that's it.
Yeah, he does.
That's it. And I think eventually that's going to bite them in the ass. I think it's going to have a poison effect where maybe it starts eating into the rest of the team. Maybe Saquon starts getting into it. Maybe Devontae Smith starts speaking up. I mean, Devontae Smith has been looking really good in these past couple of games, looking like the number one wide receiver. I see them still definitely making the playoffs, but when it comes to that number one spot, I think that costs them a couple of games, especially with that tush push being very heavily looked at now. Thankfully, you see all the inconsistencies with the way it's been officiated. So hopefully that continues, and that just keep a microscope on that play, because if they're running it and it's legal, then that's fine. But there's a lot of illegal stuff that they do when it comes to that play. So as long as we keep the microscope on that and watch, are they jumping? Are they lining up in a specific way? Are they doing illegal formations and stuff like that? And I think the Rams definitely take that spot.
I think they will. Matthew Stafford has been, I think he's the leading MVP right now, and he's the favorite.
I didn't check this week. I know last week he was number 2.
Yeah, and I think Drake May, I think, was right after him. But
Drake May was number 1.
Was he? Oh, okay, so it was flip flopped. Yeah,
last week. I don't know if it switched. So I could check. Actually, keep talking.
Yeah, I honestly think that the Rams, they have a tough game this coming week. I mean, they do play the Bucks. The Bucks do tend to play very, very well on the road. And the Bucks have lost some very, very close games, and they're competitive in all of them. The only thing is that they just played, the alien in Buffalo that decided to show up and score 6 touchdowns all by himself, which is ridiculous.
Screw that guy.
He's so good. He's still like your prototypical quarterback, regardless of the up and down and the no receivers and all that. I mean, Josh Allen is so freaking good.
He is. I hate him, but you got to give him some credit. When it comes to the MVP odds, you are right. He is number 1 with Drake May number 2. Josh Allen jumped up to number 3 with Jonathan Taylor still at 4. He was 4 last week, so they flip flop, and then Josh Allen jumped up, I think, a couple spots. I think he was at like 6 or 7 last time we checked.
Yeah, I mean, a historic game will definitely do that to you. Just like Jonathan Taylor after a historic game, he was in MVP talks. But that's why we love the NFL. From week to week, just storylines just go all over the place.
I just hate the MVP award sometimes, because if you look at these odds, we have people like Baker Mayfield, who has had a great start. His last couple of games, not so great. Jordan Love, very inconsistent. Sam Darnold, a great story. But like if you look at them versus someone like a JSN, who has been dogging this year, there should not be that big of a gap. And Caleb Williams is ahead of JSN. Like, what are we doing?
But okay.
Micah Parsons, what?
Yeah, I don't know. I think, to me, Myles Garrett has probably been like your better defensive player of the year, but
easily, just remember, just at 1%. You gotta love Jets fans. Let's go. I think with Tyrod Taylor jumping in there, it might have jumped up to 2%. I'm not gonna lie.
1.5.
No, but seriously, like, Myles Garrett below Micah Parsons, I don't understand, man. If anything, like, I would even put like Max Crosby or something. Like there's better defensive players that you could put here if you want to put defensive players up there, which I'm not against.
Pick one from the Broncos. Pick one from
Yeah,
the Eagles defensive line. I just pick one.
it makes no sense. But yeah, I
That's not
hate
hilarious,
seeing
Kansas.
Caleb
You already know.
Williams, Bo Nix ahead of him, Justin Herbert, who hasn't had a great year. Why? I don't understand it. But we're gonna back out of that because what I do want to ask you, I didn't actually put it on the docket, but I was thinking about it today, and
Yeah.
it technically happened against your team. So I do want to get your view on it real quick. And I think I know you know what it is. If not, you're about to find out in a second right here.
Yeah.
So when you see this happen, you've at this point you've heard what Jamar had to say about it. I don't know if Ramsey has spoke about it since then. But when you saw this happen, what were your thoughts? And then what were your thoughts when you saw like, oh, he did actually spit on him?
It just added another chapter to the long storied rivalry book between the Bengals and the Steelers. This time around, whatever the hell, I don't know what it is with guys spitting this year. Obviously, first game of the season, it happened in college. And now you have probably what was once one of the more respected players in the league.
Literally.
Kind of just act out and this type of foolishness. And Jalen Ramsey, how Mike Tomlin said it perfectly. His one-liners are always on point when it comes to that. He said you act accordingly. I mean, you if somebody spits on you, how you react, that's that's what's coming. That's what's coming.
We're all men. Like, how do you tell another man, I know he spit on you, but don't do nothing about it?
Like, I know they were going back and forth. I think the play before this, Chase pulled Ramsey's mouthpiece out of his mouth or whatnot. But to get to this point where you're spitting on, that is one of the most disrespectful things you can do to anybody.
100%.
Yeah, I already suspended. All my respect towards Jamar Chase just went out the window. And I respected him, even though he wears that nasty helmet. Like, I actually respected the player, but not no more, man. Now you're on the list, and he's getting booed every single time.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I'm not a Bengals fan, but at the same time, it's like we love ballers, and he's one of the best, if not the best, wide receiver in the game right now. And for him to just do something as disgusting as that, like, whether this was a football game or not, just spitting, like you said, spitting on somebody is one of the most disrespectful things that you can do to somebody. So Jalen Ramsey honestly still acted somewhat maintainable, like
maintained.
He did swing one time, but it's like even that is like that's mild compared to what just happened. He grabbed him by the head and hit him, but after that he was just talking to him because he knows what Jamar was trying to do. And he knows at that point it worked because what can you do? I want to beat the hell out of you right now. And I can't because you have the helmet on and we're in the middle of a game.
It was still like a critical spot in the game too, where like as a Steelers fan, you're like, Ramsey, what the hell are you doing, dude? We need you. And then when you look at the replay and you're like, okay, no, yeah, you're good. Yeah. You acted correctly.
So Johnny Boy says, fuck that. Jalen Ramsey been doing crazy shit like that way before this. I don't think he spit on anybody before. Has he done like annoying stuff to try to get under people's skin? For sure. Like, I don't like Jalen Ramsey either. I think he tries to antagonize as well, but that is somewhat part of the game to antagonize. But just spitting on somebody, that's just bringing it to a whole nother level that it does not have to go. And you know that the other person is hand-tied where he can't even respond the way he truly wants to because we're all in pads. You got a helmet on. I got a helmet on. Like, unless you turn into Andre Johnson and you take the helmet off and you just start punching him, which is hard to do. It's easier said than done because at that point, I mean, if you look, I have it in slow motion right now, but if I take it off of slow motion, you see how quick the players come in here. Like, at this point, now you can't do anything. You got people holding you back and all that stuff. Now it's a scrimmage.
Yeah.
It is only so much that you could do, but that's just so disrespectful. Like that for someone that doesn't have a horse in this race between Steelers and Bengals, me watching this makes me lose so much respect for Jamar Chase, and that's unfortunate because I really did like him. I do like, and I have him on fantasy, so now his dumbass is suspended. And also on top of that, he let me go to, I wrote it down. Okay, so he appealed. He wanted to appeal that suspension, and it came back tonight that it's being upheld. So
yeah, of course.
As it should.
Jalen Carter and obviously he appealed as well, and they still kind of just upheld. But 1 game suspension, I think it's definitely good. It's going to cost him his game check as well. Again, it's just add another layer, another chapter, another story to the Steelers and Bengals rivalry.
It sucks because that's not the type of chapters you want in there. Like, I love the history of the AFC North, just how gritty those games are. If you think back in the day, because it doesn't happen so much now, but like the hard hitting games that they had, like people were trying to kill you when it came to those games. It didn't matter what the record was. If it was an in-division opponent, even the Browns, as bad as they were, if the Steelers were going against the Browns, the Ravens were going against, they were still trying to kill them, and vice versa. The Browns would do the same thing. So it's like, I love the history when it comes to that division, but this is just nasty, man. I hate to see something like this. This is disgusting, honestly.
We kind of put their season to bed, so I'm good.
That felt good. That felt good.
That did feel good. Finally.
Real quick, actually, do you think Joe Burrow comes back? Oh wait, hold on. We don't know the whole story though. Ramsey could have said something super off the wall, crapped him. He probably did, knowing Ramsey. I'm sure
he did, but spitting on a man, nah.
Yeah,
nah.
Swing on him back in Eagles thing.
Well, and then that's another thing. Dak did technically spit first, but he spit towards the ground. So like that response from Jalen Carter, I understand, but like it's still to get to that point, man. Like it's just not respectful.
Like Dak spitting on the ground, he knew what he was doing. I'm spitting on the ground, but I'm spitting in the ground direction to you. So for Jalen Carter, I can understand the rage, but he didn't spit on you. So I wouldn't mind him going into his face or even grabbing his face mat. Like I understand all that stuff. But when you spit on the other guy, that's when it's a completely different level at that point. But everyone's trying to find the advantage. I mean, Jamar Chase was trying to take out one of your best defenders. He already had one
game. It's a chippy game.
And I think he had one strike from when you were talking about the whole mouthpiece thing. They gave him with that. They have like 1 or 2 strikes where after 2 strikes you get ejected. So he knew and once I do this, he's gonna react and that's it. He's out of here. So he knew what he was doing, but still, like, just don't take it to that level. There's no need for that. Absolutely no need. But I did want to get your perspective on that because I forgot. I was like, it's against the Steelers. I got to see what you thought about that. But let's get out of the NFL. Let's go to the NBA real quick. I want to bring up these standings because if we look at the Thunder here, 14-1. 14-1. I want to ask you, do you think the Thunder will break the Warriors' win record for the most wins in a season?
I'm gonna say no, but if there was a team to do it, it would definitely be this team. Definitely be. I just want to clarify that.
Yeah.
Their point differential, I think last year it was a historic 13.3. This year they're at a 15.5 in point differential. Their defense is still very solid. The only reason is just at some point, in order to have a historic run, you need to have historic health. And at some point, somebody's going to go down. And obviously, we wish we can turn off injuries across all sports. But you just have to kind of maintain that. And Chet Holmgren obviously doesn't have the greatest history. And he anchors that defense very, very well. And I don't think Jalen Williams has come back yet. So that's like another layer to the whole thing. I'm just gonna say no because we have to see it and that pace to maintain that pace, and 14-1 is pretty good, man. It really is. Good for Oklahoma City Thunder fans. It sucks for the rest of us, but Yeah, I don't think they will, and simply because at some point it's just health is going to play a factor.
I agree. I don't think they will either. I don't think that's their agenda either. I think their agenda is health because ultimately they're trying to get to the finals and they want to get to the finals as healthy as possible. So to try to win every single game, I don't think that's something that's on their mind right now. They're just trying to prioritize health and longevity. Also, as amazing of a start this is, it's such a long season, and you got to think about some of the historic things that Warriors team did in order. Like, I think they won 23 in a row or something like that, like some ridiculous. And they had the benefit of being amazing at the 3-point. So they can blow games out by the third quarter and have the Thunder have been doing it too, but they're not doing it by threes. Like they're having to work a little harder for it in those first 3 quarters in order to get to that point to where the Warriors can have a 20-point lead before the second quarter. Like that team was just built so differently. And again, if they prioritize it, to your point, they might be able to do it or at least compete for it because this team is really damn good. Like you said, Jalen Williams isn't even in there, which is probably their second best player. So if they're able to do this without him when he comes back, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with, even though they already
maybe
are.
They're better without him. Nobody's talked about that. They always talk about that with Paulo when he's hurt and out, and the Magic somehow try to play hard.
Well, let's talk about it then. Do you think they're better without him?
Without Jalen Williams?
Yeah. Do you think they flow better without him?
I think they do. Honestly, I really do. I think they do. And yes, he does bring you just take off pressure off of Shea, but they're so just well rounded all around. Like even if you do kind of shut down Shea, everybody else is very, very capable on finding their own shot or shooting the 3 efficiently, and then Hartenstein in the middle, he was such a perfect pickup for them. But they might be, and it just might be a scheme thing, and it might be a team thing. I don't know. I really haven't looked into the numbers. I just threw it out there just for conversation's sake.
No, that's a good conversation. I didn't even think about it. That's why I wanted to talk about it. That
might be a thing. Might be a thing. Kind of how the Lakers are better without LeBron, but a lot of people don't like talking about that one.
No, I love talking about that. That's my favorite topic. That's my favorite topic. The scariest thing though is this right here. They own 3 firsts this year, bro. They own 3 firsts. Let me bring this up real quick. They have their own first. They have Philly's first, which is top 4 protected. Philly's not going to be a top 4 team pick. And then Utah's, who's top 8 protected, which I guess that can still go either way. Who knows? Utah's
Marketing keeps scoring 50 points.
So that's just insane. Because even if, let's say, Philly ends up being one of these top teams where it's in the 20s, Utah somewhere in the 15s, obviously their pick's going to be one of the last picks. They can just package those up and get another superstar. They can package those up and
they could. But we did have a conversation about this team specifically because of how they paid their superstars.
Yep.
They're going to need every single rookie available just to maintain Shea, Jalen, and Chet, because that whole second apron comes into play and just maintaining that luxury tax in check. All of these picks they're set up. I have to admit they are set up in the long run to be very, very good. And it seems that they nail every single pick, regardless of where it is. They just find guys. I don't think they'll package it and get another superstar. I think there's certain guys that they won't be able to pay anymore, kind of like your Caruso's, and so forth. I say a Joe whenever he demands a little bit of more money and all that.
Playing very well.
This is going to be like a revolving door of players, and then having your main core guys.
But if we bring this back to the last topic, where they might be better without Jalen Williams. Do they use his contract and then maybe a pick to try to get somebody better around the same pay scale.
Yeah. It's gonna be the same situation, most likely, of what happened with that previous OKC team where they had to choose between Westbrook, Durant, and James Harden. They just and then Ibaka. And nobody remembers that, but Ibaka was technically
player
the
of the
one.
year.
That's the one that actually had Harden kind of out the door because they decided to keep Ibaka. It wasn't Westbrook. It obviously wasn't KD. You weren't going to get rid of KD. He was the head of the snake, like Shea. Now it's going to come up to it depends on who you want to keep. But I don't know. Yeah. It's fun. I just want to win this season, and let's keep it. We'll keep it going from there.
What's scary too, though, if you look at next year, 2027, they got 3 more.
Yeah, they do, and they have a bunch more. If you keep scrolling down or keep taking that screenshot, it keeps on growing. Yeah, they have a bunch. Yeah, look at 28.
They got 1 first, 2 seconds. 3 seconds.
Not protected by 28. If the whole Giannis thing is real, imagine Giannis does leave and he goes wherever. Right.
Well, that'd be their second. That'd be Milwaukee's second, which would still be a high second, though.
It would still be a high second. I mean, you can still package it for.
But look at 28. Whatever. They have operates with Dallas. Who look at Dallas right now. Oh my God! And then you go to 29. They got 2 more.
That's wild.
I hate this team right now. I really hate them. They have an embarrassment of riches. I think about the Jets. I'm like, damn, we got a lot of picks to play with. OKC got a lot of damn picks to play with. We got nothing on OKC.
They do, and they already have a championship to show for it too.
Literally. So, like, even whether, like you said, like they have a game that they have to play with this cap space because that second apron is very, very restricting. Which I'm glad that they did that because otherwise OKC would be a dynasty for the next 15 years. So do they decide to maybe get rid of one? Like just the fact that they have the fluidity to do whatever the hell they want right now is scary as hell because even if they don't package those 3 up to get a superstar, they could package those 3 up to get a top 2 pick, top 3 pick, number 1 overall pick. You know what I'm saying? Because one of those teams are going to be terrible and we can use 3 first as opposed to this number 1 pick. So it's like they can just keep retooling every single year, and that's scary.
Reloading.
And the team isn't old. It's not like one of these dynasty teams like when the Spurs were a dynasty. They were all like within their 30s.
Yeah, they were all aging. Still very good, but they were all aging. I think OKC is still in the top 5 of like the youngest team in the league.
It's insane. It's insane. So they can just kind of keep maintaining this, which is insane. So, but back to the original question, we both have it as a no. Like that's not really. They could do it if they really, really wanted to, but that's probably not on their top agenda. Anymore. Yeah, and I completely agree. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to this list over here, and the team that we're gonna focus on now is this team right here. Phoenix Suns. Why are we focusing on the Phoenix Suns? Who cares about the Phoenix Suns? That's a great point. But if you look at their record here, they're 8-6. 8-6. And if you look at their team, I mean, this is a team that we spoke about in the offseason of what the hell are they doing? Like, this team makes absolutely no sense.
No sense.
They started off 1-4. As they should, because this roster makes no sense. On top of that, one of their top players in Jalen Green has missed all except for 2 games where he played a combined 28 minutes or so. But since then, 2 wins in a row, a loss to the Warriors. One of those wins coming against the Spurs too, I might add. Yeah. Then they won 5 in a row before losing to the Hawks, and they're playing against the Trailblazers right now, who are playing pretty well. Even that loss to the Hawks, they lost by only 2 points. Like, so they're fighting, man. They're fighting. I will give them that. But my question for you is, when it comes to this team, are we sleeping on Phoenix right now?
No, I don't think so. That we should have been talking about them a little bit more, just purely based off their record and their winning streak and how apparently they developed a blueprint to defend Wemby and all that. That was yeah, that came out of left field completely.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, the Pacers, terrible this year. The Mavericks, terrible.
Yeah.
The Pelicans, terrible. The Clippers, old. The Clippers again, old. The Warriors, I mean, that's probably like one of the better teams that they played, along with the Spurs. That's probably their best win. And then they lost, obviously, to the Nuggets. But every single one of those wins, I mean, that's what, bottom 5 teams in each conference there that you're playing quite often. So, yeah, 8-6. I didn't think that they would be better than the Clippers. I didn't think they were going to be better than, hell, even the Pelicans. But apparently they are. And and hats off to the Blazers, even with all the mess that they've been going through.
Yeah.
That team plays so hard.
They do.
Plays so hard. They're actually very good. They're very good.
They're young too.
Yes, they are.
So that's good to see from them. Shaden Sharp, I like a lot. Caleb Love, I think, was a really good pickup for them in the draft. And then what I don't understand is Hansen has not been playing, bro. I don't get what's going on there.
I think it's hard. It's hard when you have Klingon and when you break that lineup, you have Robert Williams that is probably a little bit just better defensively. I think they're just going more for the defensive as opposed to offensive.
I guess.
Which, by the way, Robert Williams hit a 3 against us, which I was completely surprised.
He's a really good defender for sure. It's just he's glass. Like, he's going to get hurt if you play him any longer. Like, he's not meant. I don't think he's ever played a full season or close to a full season, if I'm not mistaken. Like, he's when healthy, he's really good. I don't want to like cut him short, but like if you look at 32, 29, 52, 61 was his highest, and then 35, 6, 20, and 8. Well, this year's 8, so 6 and 20, 35. Like, he's made out of absolute glass, and you just drafted Hansen. What was it, number 11 or something like that? Like, he was a pretty high pick.
14, I think.
Even
15,
if you're not starting him, which is cool. Like, Klingon is a pretty good player, and he's young too. Like, they're still trying to develop him. 7'2", 280 pounds. He had good size. He's agile. He can do a little bit. He has good offense, decent defense, and then he can rebound, which is great. But I would argue Yang can do more than him. But even if you think, let's say, Klingon is the starter, why not give him some minutes? Why are we just completely? I think they sent him to the G League for a little bit. Like, they're just not using him at all. I don't get it.
Yeah. I think it just comes down to the whole defensive aspect, really. If he's probably, a little slow on the feet, can't really shuffle, do a little shuffle to the left, shuffle to the right. I think that really is probably his only hindrance. It's just a matter of getting a little bit more practice under his belt. He is a rookie. And then from there, he'll get his opportunity. Like you said, I mean, Robert Williams at some point is going to be out for a few games, and he's the backup big, so he'll get his opportunity at some point.
So it's probably just trying to get up to the speed of the NBA. Obviously, he's been playing overseas. It's a different tempo, different sets, and stuff like that.
That Chinese league is not the best. I think they're like the worst league in the world.
You just started World War III.
Yeah.
No. I mean, it's a different tempo, different type of game, and I completely understand that aspect. That's why I would think they would at least give him some minutes, like work him in slowly. If you don't think he's ready, I fully understand that, but to just not use him at all, I don't think that's helping his development in any type of way. But let's go back to the Suns real quick. When you look at this roster, I mean, this is a really bad roster, bro. This is a terrible roster. So for them to be 8-6 is surprising to me.
Outside of Devin Booker, obviously he's the big game. He's the big name and the all-star there. They just have a bunch of guys that just get after it. They just play hard. I think it's just one of those teams that you just randomly run into, and then they're just playing harder than you are. And from night to night basis, a team like this can sneak up on you. And again, they haven't played the greatest team, but they definitely have worked those certain teams. But then it also helps. I think who is it? Dylan Brooks the other night had like 30 points. They do have some random players that can get hot out of nowhere.
He's not showing up here, but Grayson Allen's one of those players. I have him.
And Grayson Allen had like 40 something. I think
he went off that one game.
He's a shooter. He really is. He's a shooter.
And to your point, also he hustles on defense too. Like he gets after it. He's a high motor type of guy, whether you like him or not. Like him and Dylan Brooks on the same team is actually super damn annoying to play against. I would hate that. I like their bigs, man. I like Nick Richardson and I like Mark Williams. It's just they have some players, even Royce O'Neal, like to some effect. He's someone I would like on a competing roster, but on this roster, it's just a bunch of names that you would want as depth pieces on a championship team.
Correct. It's just players that have made a name for themselves, being a reliable fifth, sixth, seventh guy. And they just threw them all together and say, hey, all these guys play hard. We'll just lead them with point guard Devin Booker and see what happens. And so far, 8-6 has happened.
It's crazy. To answer the question, though, we are sleeping on them, but I think it's for good reason. Like we went through their schedule. You pointed out all their wins, most of their wins, if not all their wins, are against bad teams. I just thought that they were a bad enough team that even they would lose some of those games. So the fact that they beat the Clippers twice in a row is still pretty impressive to me because the Clippers are old, but with that veteran oldness comes a lot of experience to where you should be able to beat down on a team like the Suns. But they beat them twice in a row somehow. So
sure did. But the Clippers they're not just old, they're old. Like
old. Yeah. AARP old.
Yeah, they're old.
So the next person I want to talk about is somebody that has been absolutely killing it, not just this year, but basically his whole damn career. And with that comes the question, honestly, which is how high on the all-time list do you think Joker will be when it's all said and done?
To answer that question, I think it just depends on how long Joker plays. I really think that's literally the only thing that will take him out of greatest of all time conversations, because Joker is that good. It's we've become numb to Jokic because of it's just he's so consistently good. I mean, this guy as a center averaging a triple-double for the last 2 years, and when that feat alone was almost impossible until Westbrook did it, but now Jokic is something completely different, already has multiple MVPs, already has a championship, has a finals MVP. I mean, this guy has already reached mountaintops that players dream about. And I think it's just honestly up to him how long he plays. But yeah, if let's say he does play kind of like what KD is in right now, what, in year 19, Curry's in what, year 18, LeBron's in obviously year like 21 or something like that. Let's say if Jokic has a career like that and somewhat maintains that type of status, which he can just due to his IQ, doesn't have to score the 29, 30 points, but with just his IQ alone, if that's sustainable throughout, I don't know, the next 10 seasons, yeah, we're probably looking at one of the new GOATs.
Yeah. And I think you bringing up the longevity of how long he wants to play, because that's what I think it's ultimately going to come down to. I mean, we see what his interest is outside of the NBA and the passion that he shows for his horses as opposed to when he wins a championship. Like, it's night and day. And I mean, whatever you love is whatever you love. So it's not like an indictment to him, like, how dare you love horses more than NBA. But like you said, he averaged 2 triple-doubles. He averaged a triple-double 2 years in a row. Even the third year and the fourth year, he easily could have done it again 4 years in a row. I mean, he had 9.8 one year and then 9 the other year. He's absolutely ridiculous, man. He is something that we need to cherish while we still have it. Very, very low chance we see something close to this again. He's going to be somebody, if he does end up playing for another 7, 8, 10 years, can be on the top of a lot of these lists, not just the scoring list, but the rebounding list, the assist list as a center. Like, he's shooting it at a high clip, even when it comes to his three ball. I mean, 39%, 41%, 35 for a center, 38. Like, he's a freaking gem, man. And if he does decide, I'm going to play it out until year 18, 19, 20, because that's also going to be hard for a big man with their knees and stuff like that. Like, he's probably going to have to lose a little weight, get a little more in shape just to try to take some of that pressure off his knees. But if he's able to do it and maintain this level of play, I can see him as a top 10 player of all time easily.
I mean, I think he's already top 18. If you really start getting into the whole conversation and ranking from 1 to whatever, he's already in the top 20 for sure.
It's hard for me to argue that. The only thing that I would try to put against him is his defense, but he does so much other things that it makes up for it. Like, he's still getting some steals, which is cool. Like, he plays the passing lane and all that. But obviously, when we think of bigs, we think of people like Shaq. We think of people like Hakeem. We think of people like Tim Duncan, who dominated on offense, dominated on the boards, and were a complete menace on defense inside that paint and locked it down. He's an international player. He plays a little different. And I don't think that should hinder him, because he's making up for it where he's running the whole offense. He's, like you said, multiple MVPs. He's even been snubbed before, so he should have more on top of that. Like, this guy is completely special. I can definitely see him being top 10, maybe even top 5. If he goes another 7, 8, 10 years, those numbers are just going to be completely impossible to argue against.
Yep. He's so good. He's still the best player in the world. Still.
I mean, Luka, but I understand what you're saying. I understand where you go with it. Oh man, my boy Luka, gotta love him. I think he's number 1 in scoring this year so far.
Yeah, he is.
Right?
He is. Yeah,
he's gonna stay there. He's gonna stay there. So I want to go to this next topic, which is going to be our last topic before we go into our rants about our team real quick, just because we're not really focused on them during these questions. But there is a lot to talk about both of those teams, actually. So I'll let us both just kind of go off on it. But I want to ask you, when you look at these rankings here, like when we look at, matter of fact, let me break it up into conference. When we look at the Eastern Conference and when you look at the Western Conference and you look at these standings, what is one team that stands out to you from each of these conferences here? We could start off with the East.
The Raptors, bro. The Raptors. That now here's a guy, kind of like a here's a team. Yeah. Here's a team. They've won 4 in a row. Brandon Ingram fit in like a glove. They have Scotty Barnes, they have RJ Barrett, they have Emmanuel Quickly, they have Grady Dick. Like, it's just the complement of guys around that team. I honestly thought they weren't going to be the greatest.
Another team we shitted on in the offseason.
Yeah, correct. But they're actually pretty good, and they do have their fair share of really, really good wins already. They beat the Cavs, they beat the Bucks,
Cavs twice.
They beat the Cavs twice.
The Hawks, which are a good team right now.
Atlanta, which was like the very first game where they just blew the doors out of that team to open the season. But they're good, man. They're good, solid defensively. They're good offensively because they can give you so many looks. Is it sustainable? And then there's like 3 or 4 of those guys that are very, very injury prone. That's Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram, and
Quickly.
And Quickly. But RJ Barrett can kind of almost fall in that same conversation as well. Yeah, is it sustainable? I don't know. I mean, we've seen crazier things happen. but so far they're popping off. They're popping off the page right now, winning a lot of games.
I think that's a great shout. I didn't look into the Raptors, but now that you point them out, I mean they kind of remind me of the Suns start where they started off 1-5 and then they won 8 of their last 9 games. And there's some really good names in there. Like you said, they beat the Cavs twice. They beat the Hawks twice. This is, again, another team that we shitted on coming into the season because it's like they just copy paste the same player in position 3 times. Let me get Scotty Barnes. Let me get RJ Barrett. Let me get what's his name? Brandon Ingram. And it was like, how I don't understand how it's going to work. When you look at their play styles, Scotty Barnes isn't really. I think he's the number one on this team as far as like it's his team, but he's not the number one when it comes to scoring. Obviously, that's Brandon Ingram, but he's also not the type of player that plays one specific way. He could kind of blend in a little bit to kind of fit in where you need him. Brandon Ingram is the scorer when it comes to that team. When it came to any team, that was his thing. He was the Kevin Durant kind of archetype player. So let's let him focus on that. Scotty Barnes can play defense and kind of do a little bit of everything. A baby joker where he could run the offense. He could get he could kind of get a triple-double on any different day. It's not going to be 30, 40 points, but he's going to get up there where he's up. He's a high motor guy on top of that. RJ Barrett is another person who's working hard on defense and can score. He can put up 35 points if he needs to. Is it going to happen consistently? No, but he doesn't need to do that because Brandon Ingram is that consistent. So like it kind of works a little bit. Emmanuel quickly, I would like a better playmaker when it comes to the point guard position for them. I think that would make more sense for them, but it's working right now. Do I think they're going to maintain it? No.
They don't. I don't think they need one. That's the thing, because IQ can. Yeah, exactly. They all complement each other. I mean, Scotty Barnes can do that. RJ Barrett can definitely do that. Brandon Ingram, I mean, at some point he has to do that. They all complement each other very, very well. I think that's what they have. And then nobody talks about the most underrated player on that team is Poto.
Oh yeah, the center.
Yeah, dude. This guy, he's always in the top of the league in field goal percentage. And I know you're like, Daniel, field goal percentage, really, dude? Like Jacob Poto. I'm like, no, this guy.
72. Woo!
Yeah, this guy absolutely can destroy your team just based off efficiency alone. He's very, very underrated in my opinion. And when they let him go to San Antonio and then they brought him back and then they paid him a bunch of money, everybody's like, what the hell? I think he's like the Raptors, like historic field goal percentage or something like that. Yeah, like he's one of those. So they love him. They love him up there.
That's a great shout, and that's a great glue guy, basically. Like he's gonna do all the dirty work, and when you give him his shots, obviously you're gonna knock him down at a high clip.
Yeah, he's gonna hit him. Yeah, he's gonna hit him.
As someone you could depend on. So I like that. I like that shout. I like the Raptors as your team that kind of just grabs your attention when it comes to the East. For me, matter of fact, I'm gonna let you do the West too, and then I'll do my East and West. When you look at these West teams here, what is a name that pops out to you and why?
So I'm gonna go a little backwards here, and I'm gonna talk about that old team. I'm gonna talk about the Clippers. I'm gonna talk about the Clippers. 4-10. They paid a lot of guys. They brought in a lot of guys. I mean, I think Chris Paul's on that team.
I think so. I don't know if he played.
Bradley Beal, but now he's out for the season.
Who could have saw that coming?
Harden. Yeah, really. And then also Derrick Jones Jr. I think he's also out for a few weeks as well. It's just the way they built that team, and Zubac, of course, he's a great compliment to James Harden. You kind of saw the vision that they had, but they're just old, man, and it's just the decline is crazy. James Harden is always going to be James Harden, regardless if you respect him or not. He's just very, very good. Zubac is just he's a monster, but outside of that, it's just there's no everybody's kind of just declining. There's no like young gun in there that's gonna be like, hey, let me take over. Like you have Kawhi. You have Kawhi, and
barely.
everybody forgets that he plays for the Clippers because when you watch the Clippers, he's not playing.
He's growing trees, all right? He's working for the environment.
No, bro, like if you look at that roster, Brook Lopez, Nicholas Batum, Kobe Sanders, that's probably one of the young guys there. Bogdan Bogdanovic, I love him as a player, but he is an older player. Chris Paul. Then you have John Collins, which he's not that old, but also kind of declined after his days in Atlanta. And then Chris Dunn, which all he does is play excellent defense. But I mean, they really don't have that player that's just consistently getting better. They kind of have guys that are already established, and that's what you're getting. Like, that's it. This is all you're getting from this team. They're not going to be any better, and they're not going to be any worse. It's looking tough. The Magic play them on Thursday. I'm gonna see how it looks in live when I go to the game and see how the rotations play out and all of that. Of course, anything can happen. I'm gonna go ahead and protect my ego and my heart that any team that has James Harden can definitely beat you. But but they just look old, man. 4-10. They're not looking great at all.
So I'm glad you brought up the Clippers because that was actually my team when I came to the West.
Damn.
But it's for everything that you said. This is such a terribly built team. Like when you do the old roster type thing, it's normally when you're trying to go for a chip. But with this team, it's like you have so many injury prone players and then players that just aren't very good on top of that. Chris Paul is past his prime. I think he's good to have on a roster to where he still has that insight. Or if you have young players that you're trying to develop, like he's someone great to learn from. They don't have that. They don't have that at all. James Harden is a great player. I like James Harden personally. I do like James Harden. That's it. It's him and Zubac. They traded for John Collins last year. I think John Collins is a nice piece. But on this team, he's basically a nobody. He's just another person that's in the rotation. Him and Derek Jones kind of play very similar. They're kind of the same player in my opinion. Chris Dunn, like you said, he's just there for defense. Bogan is getting old. I think he's in his 32, 33. 33 right now.
Yeah, he's getting up there.
He's one of their youngest players at this point. Nicholas Batum, why is he still in the league? I don't understand their. I don't understand. Bro. He's so old, and this team is going nowhere fast. Like if I'm him, I'm retiring because I know we're just out here getting cardio at this point. If Kawhi Leonard was the player that he was a couple of years ago, not even play style wise, but just caring to actually want to play the games, then sure. Like I can understand them trying to go for it here. He's going to miss half the season. Chris Paul's going to miss half the season. That's two of your best players right there. James Harden is past his prime. As good as he still is, he's not going to be able to do it in the high clip that he was doing it when he was with the Rockets. So it's just a terribly built team. And then on top of that, if you look at their picks, they don't even have a first this year. Like, what are you doing? You have a first in 2027, but guess who has the damn rights to it?
Because they were part of probably one of the worst trades in NBA history, trying to get Paul George, and they send out Shea and among a bunch of other picks and a bunch of other things. And it's just OKC definitely won that one.
They have no first in 26. They have their rights owned by somebody else in 27. They have nothing in 28, not even a second in 28. And then their first in 29 is owned by someone else again. Like, what the hell are they doing? This makes no damn sense. They're just. This is going to be one of the worst franchises after this year because a lot of them are either going to retire or some of them are going to I think James Harden might want to force his way out. If I was him, I would too. Like, try to play for a contender or something like that. But
I honestly would have said the same thing, but then I did see the Netflix starting five
I did
documentary.
not. Fill me in.
Yeah, and he is from LA, so and he does kind of say he wants to retire there. So and honestly, that documentary, check it out. It's actually very, very nice. You do tend to learn a little bit more about the whole Tyrese Halliburton playoff run, the Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, dominant season, and you kind of see him in a little different light outside of the basketball player that annoys the hell out of you. The person, actually kind of cool Canadian dude. But James Harden is just a different, like, nobody knows who James Harden is, and I would have thought the same thing. It's like, oh, this guy's gonna force his way out of LA and then find somewhere else. Like, no, I think this is James Harden's last stop, but that doesn't help the Clippers.
Unless he stays in LA but just puts on a yellow jersey instead.
Yeah.
Like,
sure, you want to do that.
California has a lot of teams. Maybe it's not LA specifically. Maybe it's Sacramento. Maybe it's the Warriors. Maybe it's Sacramento. I mean, because Russ went to Sacramento because he loves California so much. He's from California.
Well, Sacramento's trying to get rid of all their players, apparently. So
they should have never got them to begin with.
that is very, very true. They saw that Bulls team a few years ago and they said, that's what we want, mediocrity. I want that in Sacramento right now. So, and then that's what they try to build. And it went exactly how we expected.
Who could have saw that coming? So my team on the East side, let me swap this over here. So when I look at the East, the team that sticks out to me, shout out to Ryan, is going to be the Knicks.
Ooh.
The Knicks are 8-5 right now. They are out with Jalen Brunson is out for a couple of weeks. I want to see, because this team is and should be more than just Jalen Brunson. This is a team that has a lot of depth. This is a team that's paying a lot of players. This is a team that traded a lot of firsts to get someone like a Mikal Bridges.
Mm-hmm.
Big trade for Karl Anthony Towns. Big trade for OG Anunoby. This team is, if you look at just these four right here, actually, let's focus on these three. These three right here should be enough to keep them in games and possibly even win some of these games. Getting someone like a Jordan Clarkson in the offseason, this is where you can see if that paid off, how well he kind of blends in with this team. This is their time to also show how good is Mike Brown. How good is he as a coach? Is he going to figure out these rotations? Who's he going to give these point guard minutes to? Is he going to keep playing Miles McBride? Is he going to start Jordan Clarkson? Does he try to go a little younger and give someone like a Kolek some more minutes? Kolek's someone that has some pretty good upside. Do they stay with defense and keep Landry Shamet in? What is happening with Josh Hart? There's so many different questions that come with this team, and this is a team that's supposed to have championship aspirations. So them being 8-5 is pretty good. I want to see how they maintain this. Do they take a big step back? Because Jalen Brunson is their best player. Jalen Brunson is the engine that makes the Knicks run. But they have a lot of good players that should be able to maintain a good pacing in this Eastern Conference. This isn't the Eastern Conference that's a dominant force. So Are they really going to let someone like Toronto Raptors stay ahead of them? Are they going to let the Hawks probably jump them? Like, I want to know how they and then the Magic are starting to turn it up a little bit, which we'll talk about in a minute. What happens in the future? While Jalen Brunson's out, do they falter or do they have those players step up and show that they're worth the money that they got paid and the picks that they had to send out in order to get them?
I honestly thought their bench was going to be a lot better than what it is. Like they're still, yes, like they're still highly reliant on Jalen Brunson, and that's not a secret. Cat is Cat. Like Cat will have monster games, and then he'll have games where he's just not. He's just there. He's just there. But their bench, I mean, their second unit is still being led by Miles McBride. I mean, hell, you can even say Landry Shamet sometimes is their best player when Jalen Brunson's out. 100%. Jordan Clarkson, I thought that was going to be an amazing pickup, and I don't know. It could be the system, could be Mike Brown. It could just be that, hey, it's still Jalen Brunson's team, and he's so freaking efficient that he's the only one that can score. Nobody else can find the rhythm. I mean, Mikal Bridges, you gave up so much for him.
Yep.
And some argue it's almost the same package that the Magic gave up for Desmond Bane. And that's something that we can start arguing to where, hey, like, did the Knicks overpay for Mikal Bridges? Did the Magic overpay for Desmond Bane? And who's like the one that kind of is kind of getting the better play, the better for everything that they paid for? And I think it's already like Desmond Bane, I think, is already kind of proving his worth than over Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges was supposed to be at the time like your second best player, and now he's your third best player,
and not even all the time. He's not even all the time your third. And on top of that, the pay that you're gonna have to give Mikal Bridges, I don't think you have to do that for Bane.
Paid like it. No. So, he's definitely getting paid like it. Karl Anthony Towns, again, is just so very up and down. I honestly thought that this team was going to be a lot better. And the other aspect of this, because we did touch on this and we did talk to Ryan about this specifically, health. Yep. They've been very, very healthy these last 2 years, outside of obviously Mitchell Robinson. They've been very, very healthy. And now this year, it's kind of like, oh, that's right, Anunoby's out. Oh, Brunson's out. Oh, this guy's out. At some point, we know Mitchell Robinson's going to be out for a few games. Cat might miss something over here. I mean, Jabusele, he's barely seeing the floor, and he was a heck of a pickup as well. And I thought that was going to help improve their bench. He has
32 from the field.
Yeah, he hasn't been playing at all. The Magic went in there with let's put it with our season on the line. Literally, they had a chance to really put the Magic in a very, very tough spot. And I mean, the Magic went in there and outworked them. And that's a fully healthy Knicks team that we played. I can't recall if we had Paulo, and Paulo got hurt that same game.
I think he got hurt in the game.
In the game, right? Yeah, and that's something I honestly thought it was going to be, and it was a great win for the Magic. I know it was probably a frustrating loss for
that defense
the Knicks
was looking.
But that's kind of like where everything kind of flipped for the Magic. So,
yes, sir.
I appreciate the love there from the Knicks and spotting us that win, but it's a long season regardless.
Yep.
Long season. I think they'll be all right. It's just to this point, they haven't showed me any improvement from last year. And yes, we're talking about a team that still went to the Eastern Conference Final last year, but I think they're so still so highly reliant on Jalen Brunson that it's almost bad. He's so good.
It is. It's so bad. And you would think with Jordan Clarkson getting picked up, it's kind of a similar place to obviously Jalen Brunson's way better than Clarkson, but it's a similar, we got a point guard that can score, that can't defend. Like it's still that same archetype almost to a lesser degree, of course. But Mikal Bridges, OG, Josh Hart, Karl Anthony Towns, like to your point, like the way that they're running their lineups out there, Yabusele was a big pickup for them as a big man, because you can't trust Mitchell Robinson with too many minutes, but they're playing him less than 10 minutes a game. So it's like, again, back to what we were saying last year coming into this year, health was the biggest factor coming into this year because they were so healthy before. Now that they're dealing with all these injuries, on top of having a new coach who has to figure out these new rotations, on top of the players having to get adjusted to this new coach, but can't really do that while they're out. They have to be on the court in order to do it. I don't think I can say very confidently that they'll figure it out. I can't, because this is a thing where health was bound to regress, and we're seeing it now. And if this continues, which I wouldn't be surprised if it continues, because also they played so many minutes when they had Tom Thibodeau as their coach. Like, this could be them feeling the effects of that coming into this year as well. Like, I think there's too many moving pieces as far as them having to get adjusted to a new coach, them having to deal with their health, Josh Hart was also in their starting lineup when they were making these runs into the playoffs. Now he's on their second unit, and their second unit still doesn't look good. So I can't say confidently that they're going to figure it out. Do I think that they should be able to figure it out? 100%. Their team is too good, and the East is too bad for them not to try to figure it out. But if they can't stay healthy, or at least get healthy at the right time, I don't know what to think about the Knicks anymore.
I just want to say, like, if you go back to the standings for the East here real quick, because we did, everybody spoke about the East, everybody spoke about Cleveland, the Knicks, and the Magic.
Yep.
Nobody saw Detroit.
No.
Right?
No.
Now, apparently, out of the blue, the 76ers are actually relevant.
Yep.
And then also you have the Raptors that apparently now they can at least go out and beat you. So you thought that to this point, those 10-5s, those 13-2, you thought that was going to be Cleveland, Knicks, and Orlando. So right now, like you're losing games that at the end of the year they're going to matter because it's so clustered right now, and I don't think that's going to change. So all these games that you're losing right now, when the tiebreakers come on, who's going to get home court advantage, who's going to end up in the play, and who's not going to, like, all this is going to matter because the East right now is compressed, and I don't think that's going to change outside of maybe a team starting to separate itself, which right now it's looking like Detroit, but and that's with injuries and all that. And yes, everybody likes to mention Cade Cunningham, but Jalen Duren has seen one of the bigger leaps
that boy's nice.
in the entire NBA, and he is so dominant and he is so hard to guard. And it's just nobody, like, you have to have guys in your like, to me, to this point, most improved player of the year. If he keeps it up, he'll definitely win it for sure.
I like that. That's a good shout. Yeah, now he was slept on, man. That boy's nice. And to your point, with everything being so clustered, the difference between second place and 11th place is 2 games. Obviously, we're still early into the season, so a lot of it is going to be clustered. But you would typically see at least that first top 3 teams
start
have
separate.
But we don't know who those top teams are currently because there's so many different things happening. And with the 76ers, they're on the opposite end of the spectrum where they're starting to get healthier, where Jaren McCain is on his way working. He's played a couple of games now here and there. Embiid, obviously. I don't even add Embiid when it comes to the 76ers because I think they're going to be good even without him. So whether he's healthy or not doesn't really factor into the 76ers when I project them for the rest of the season. It's basically Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, McCain, and the rest of them boys. So
and now you don't have to rely on Paul George, even though his contract says otherwise. But Paul George is a decent 4th option, 5th option, as long as he's not your 1st, 2nd, or 3rd option. He's a decent 4th or 5th option.
That's true. And yeah, man, there's a big cluster, but in that big cluster, we're gonna move on to our last topic. Let's talk about your Magic real quick, man. I want you to say anything good or bad or both or indifferent about your boys here. Tell me about the Magic.
So obviously, I've been on here. I've been harping about the identity of this team. Well, thanks to us playing the New York Knicks, it looks like we found our identity of defense has looked a lot better. Assignments haven't been missed. They're playing with an energy and grit that we've come to know and love. We even without Paulo and that whole conversation of like, hey, we're better with Paulo, without Paulo, that honestly needs to stop. It's just a matter of matchups, and also Paulo just brings so much attention to his side of the floor to where other players don't have to over exceed or just do just expectations through the roof. like Anthony Black and Tristan Da Silva. Those two players alone have taken an amazing leap. Specifically, Tristan Da Silva coming off the gold medal win in Eurobasket. His confidence is through the roof. I want to say he's probably been our most consistent player throughout this entire 14 games in. Our offense is looking a lot crisper. Our defense is getting stingy once again. I mean, we just went toe to toe with the Houston Rockets, which they're not an easy team to play. It's just Kevin Durant is just inevitable. He's amazing. And Sengun is actually very good, and they out rebounding us, and we still kind of like made it a close game. I think it's just a testament to where this team has the potential to say what you said at the beginning. I'm not going to say it, but what you said at the beginning of the season, it's in there. It's in there, and I know they can do it. It's just depending on other players. Bane is coming into his own. He's still not shooting it great, but I mean, in the last 5 games, I think he's averaging 22 points, and his playmaking has been off the charts. And then once Paulo starts coming back in, and again, we start integrating, I believe that starting lineup is one of the higher net rated, net positive lineups in the league as well. And then we're still missing, the German hammer as well. So eventually our bench is even going to get even better.
Yep.
We beat the Warriors today, holding Curry to what the heck did he score to 29 points? I mean, that's honestly a great defensive game against Stephen Curry, or 34 points. Sorry.
No. I think that's what he's. Oh no, actually, yeah.
That's what he scored. Yeah. He scored 34. Holding him to 34 was actually a great feat, because last year he had 56. Year before that in Orlando, he had 50. So scoring 34 was a great defensive game plan by the Magic. And I mean, anytime you have Curry, and then Jimmy Butler knows this very well because he played with the Heat for a while, and that's what he does. Honestly, that's what he does. You talk about free throw merchant. Jimmy Butler has been one for a while. It's just nobody talks about that, but. He's still a dog. I mean, I'll always give him credit because he did manage his way into the finals a few times, just based out of pure effort. We're getting on track. We're getting on track. We honestly probably let that Houston game slip. Just we missed an important free throw. Anthony Black missed an important free throw there at the end. But it's growing pains. It's going through the motions. We're gelling. We have a big game coming up against the Clippers, and then we have an even bigger game against the Knicks on Saturday here at home. Again, no Paulo. Not sure exactly how that's going to look like, but
he said he's day to day. They called him out for the Clippers game, but who knows if he's back for the Magic. I mean, for the Knicks.
For the Knicks, when it comes to the Magic, medical staff, they take their time, big time. Yeah, they take their time. So until he actually starts the game at tip-off, that's when everybody will believe, oh, yeah, Paulo's playing. Other than that, we're not. Yeah, we're not speculating on the day-to-day.
To your point with defense, they are currently ranked 7th in the least amount of points allowed, and that's with the bad start that they had too.
Yes.
So that shows how much they've actually stepped it up, because there was a lot of high scoring, which is crazy what the league has come to, that the lowest is a 106.
Yeah, offense is king.
Straight offense.
Yeah, the pace of games have increased tremendously. But yeah, no, that 114 is great. Obviously, I would like to see that around like 110. That would be the ideal scenario with our offense keeping pace as well. So we're getting there, man. We're getting there. Again, we have to earn to be called contenders. We have to earn to be called, perennial playoff team. We just have to kind of work our way to it.
Yeah, man. I like what I'm seeing out of them these last couple of games. Like you said, that switch was definitely turned on when it came to the Knicks game. And it's like they just kind of remembered who they were basically when it came to that game. And a game like that is pivotal when it comes to these type of teams that are having some type of aspiration for the championship. You won't say it, but I'll say it. I think that they can be a championship team or at least a championship contender. It's just whether they're able to kind of figure out some of this growing pain stuff. And it looks like they're at least on the path, if not figured out. I think you guys are way better with Paolo in the lineup, but I think him missing a couple of games might be better just for the role players on the team so they can kind of get a little more playing time. But for anyone that's saying like Paolo should not be on this team or should be traded or they're better without him, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. They need Paolo. Paolo is their number one, and even if Franz is their number one from time to time, that's cool too. But both of them need to be there. They absolutely need to be there. But if he takes a couple of games off to get healthy, obviously he's super important. So health is the most important thing. Let him wait till he is 100%, jump back in. But until that's happening, like you said, Anthony Black has been showing up. What did you call him?
Bronze Wagner.
Bronze Wagner. What you call it? No, but he's been showing up too. I like Tristan a lot. He can definitely get a bucket. I think him not only coming off of that championship team internationally, but also being able to play with Franz, who was somebody that he did play with before, that familiarity and just being able to learn the game from someone like that who plays it at a high level and can kind of understand him in a personal level. I think that's going to be great for his growth. So I think you guys are going to be able to turn it up. You're going to be facing the Knicks without an OG and Ginobili. He's out for at least 2 weeks. I believe he gets reevaluated in 2 more weeks. They're saying Brunson's day to day, but I don't see him playing for another couple of games.
Is it a groin as well?
I could double check it exactly what it was.
That's been like a common.
That's his thing.
Everybody has a groin injury now. No, like everybody. I think.
Oh, really?
Giannis has
hamstring.
One. Or hamstring. Well, Paulo, Suggs. Who else? They've a bunch of groin injuries lately, and I think it was due. What they're saying is due to just the pace of games. Apparently now it's increased so much. I guess everybody saw the Pacers play last year, and they said, okay, speed is what we need. Let's speed it up, and then play some solid defense on the other end.
They obviously haven't seen the Pacers play this year, though.
No, I mean Halliburton's the system.
Yeah, and then Miles Turner leaving too. There's a lot of turnover there, but it's probably better for them, honestly. Get a good pick to add to that with Halliburton coming back next year. On top of that, kind of retool. Use this year as just a filler year, basically. But I want to talk about these boys right here because as we're doing this right now, the Lakers are playing, and I just want to show you my boy real quick. The great one. No, not this one. This one right here. 37 points, 9 assists, 4 rebounds. This boy is putting on a damn clinic, almost averaging 35, 36 points a game. Unfortunately, LeBron has come back. I know that may sound weird to some people to say, unfortunately, the GOAT is coming back or whatever. I think this team has been playing so great without him. I think he's just wasting a roster spot at this point. It's not that he can't play. It's not that he's whack or anything like that. I'm not saying anything like that. But when it comes to the flow of this team, when it comes to the direction of this team, I don't think that we're able to compete for a championship right now. And LeBron isn't going to help us in the future. So what is the point of keeping him on this team right now where we are taking away minutes from and taking away shots from people like Austin Reeves, who was absolutely dogging when Luka and LeBron wasn't there? You got to see his potential. You're taking away minutes from Jake LaRiva, who's not someone who's great or anything like that, but
is really good.
He has some untapped potential. Like there's some players on this team that if you give them the chance, they can improve on it. And with LeBron being on the team, he's taking away minutes and shots from players that we need to see what they have so that we can know how to build on that going in either into the trade deadline or into the offseason next year. And -7 right now in this game alone. Rui Hachimura +14. It's like, it's not just about you being the greatest player or anything like that. It's also how you fit on the team. I don't think he's a fit, man. And I need him to be gone. Luka is an absolute dog, and even with all the injuries that we've been dealing with, we're 10-4 on our way to 11-4 right now. When we beat the Jazz, which we better, with the end of the third, we already have 104 points. I love what this team is doing. I love what they have been doing up to this point, because now this is the first game with LeBron, so this is going to be kind of a new team as the season goes on, if he remains healthy. So I just want to give my hats off to the Lakers. I did not expect them to be this good this early. I thought it would be kind of a middling start to the season, and then we kind of turned it up. But, I mean, if you look at the standings right now, we're right there towards the top. We're first in the Pacific, of course. But when it comes to the whole West, even though we're fourth, like, we're only half away from second. We're right there. Obviously, OKC is OKC. And nobody's really touching. Actually, Detroit kind of touching. They're right there, which is insane to say. Again, hats off. We spoke about Detroit last week. Hats off to Detroit. Hats off to them. Yeah. But to focus on the Lakers have been playing great. I'm just proud of these boys. I do want to see them get rid of LeBron, though. I don't know how that's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen. But every time I talk about the Lakers, I'm always going to bring up he needs to go and that Luka's to go. I'm also surprised at what I saw from Austin Reeves when both of them were off the court. I thought he was really good. I really did. Yeah. I didn't know he was good to that point, though.
Yeah.
And that's special.
He took a leap. He definitely took a leap. I mean, we all knew he was good. It's just I didn't think he had that in him. And I think it also helps. It's just how the offense kind of revolved around him, kind of how it does with Luka, where he is the main focus and then he has guys. With LeBron, it's kind of hard to do that in the mix. I was curious to see how it would look like with LeBron. I haven't tuned into the actual game, so I wanted to see how it looked like. But I agree. I think the Lakers are actually better without LeBron. At this point in LeBron's career, you can't make him the guy. And I think that was like the clash, and you can correct me if I'm wrong because you're a Lakers fan. I think that was the clash for a few years between Anthony Davis and LeBron James. Like, exactly whose team is it and who should take the lead of things and how far they can kind of carry. Maybe if Anthony Davis were to be the guy, that team would go a lot further. I think that was the conversation for most of the time. I think it is to that point to where it's just, he's aging, man, and I know he's a lot of people's GOAT. He's not my GOAT, but he's a lot of people's GOAT. It's just that you can't build the team around LeBron anymore, and the attention and his ego and the way he carries himself and just the name alone. I worry that the Lakers might feed into that a little bit more when they have this dog that is Luka Doncic at the helm.
I will say I feel like hopefully I'm right. And from the moves that I have seen recently, from going from last year to this year, it looks like the Lakers understand that Luka is the guy not only now, but for the future. They know he's for the future, but it seems like they value his opinion more right now than they do LeBron, which is great to see because he's not only just the future, but he is the best player on the team currently. No matter what LeBron's career stats are, which are all the way up there, which is, great for him. But my worry is, does LeBron know that yet? Or in his mind, is it still, this is my team. The team is going to trade who I want when I want. The team is going to do what I want when I want. And if he still has that type of mindset, I'm just hoping that doesn't feed into the rest of the locker room and starts causing some type of divide and some type of just everything starts crumbling. That's what really scares me. That's why the faster he leaves, the better, just because I don't want that worry. But that worry is always going to be in the back of my mind because we don't know his mindset. We've seen how he takes these type of GM roles when he joins these teams, and you've seen it on the Lakers, you've seen it on the Heat, you've seen it not so much on the Heat because Pat Riley has some balls, but he still had some say in some things. And you've seen it on the Cavs. He ran the Cavs. So that's the thing that just scares me so much. The faster that he's gone, the better.
How hurt would you be if they decide obviously not to move on from LeBron and then let Austin Reeves walk because of the whole money situation?
That would hurt. So I mean, we spoke about it before to where I'm scared. I don't want to pay Austin Reeves max money. I think he deserves a big contract. And
I mean, after the way he played, somebody's making him max money.
And that made me feel better with him being paid the way that I'm assuming that he's going to be paid. But now if it's to the point where it's max or bust, the fact that he showed what he showed, I'm a little less scared, I guess, because I would rather keep him and pay him max money than have him walk, because I don't know who the hell is coming back into the door, like who we replace him with. The rest of the roster is okay, but they're role players. Like I'm not going to trick myself into thinking these players are great players. They're role players. Even DeAndre Ayton, who has been playing really good for us so far, his mindset has also been really good for us so far. I don't know if that continues. So I need to keep Austin Reeves and Luka together. Obviously, there's more pieces that we have to bring into here, but we're not going to be able to do that with LeBron on the team. So if your scenario happens where we keep LeBron and next year we go into the season with LeBron and without Austin Reeves, I would be hurt. I'd be completely hurt.
That would honestly be malpractice, but well, technically we know Adam Silver. It doesn't matter what they do; they'll find a little caveat to let them keep Austin Reeves and pay him.
I want him to go to Dallas. I want him to go to Dallas so we could get some more picks from Dallas. Let him play with his boys, man. Let him be with AD again. Let him be with Kyrie. He can teach Cooper how to play and all that. And I think the NBA would love that as a story too. Cooper learning from LeBron. It writes itself.
Honestly, I know Cleveland fans are like, they're 50-50, right? Because it's still LeBron, but at the same time, like, don't kind of want to mess up everything that we have going on here. Plus, I think they're one of the only teams in the second apron anyway. So I don't think they can even afford and trade for him anyway. They will have to give up literally half the team, which would benefit you. Which now that I think about it, that might be Adam Silver's next move.
That makes sense.
Somehow Jared Allen and whoever the heck's over there. Max Stress will end up.
They're always talking about Garland. They're always talking about getting rid of Garland when I speak to my one Cavs friend.
Your one cuz.
I know a couple of Cavs people, but like one that I actually talk to consistently, it's normally Garland. But yeah, that'd probably be it. Garland and Jared Allen.
I mean, Lonzo Ball is actually making that.
I would love Lonzo, but I don't think
you had Lonzo.
Yeah, we had him, but I mean, we have him again. That's fine. LeBron, if LeBron goes back to the Cavs for a third time, I think we can have Lonzo for a second time. But I think that does it for us for today, man. That was a great episode. First live episode. It was a nice little twist. It was a little later than we would have expected, but there was a lot of things going on today. So we'll see about next.
Shout out to the boys, to Ryan getting a new place, and of course Omar, man, having to be the best thing that you can possibly be, which is be a father. So congrats to him.
Lucas, right? I believe his name is Lucas.
Lucas. Yep.
Shout out to Lucas. Shout out to Omar, man. That's beautiful. Hopefully the baby and everyone's doing great. The mom's doing great in her recovery. Shout out to them. Shout out to you for coming by. This is a late ass episode, but you came straight off of work to do this. I appreciate you, man. And just all your hard work and dedication that you put into this show. Couldn't do this without you. I'll move you to your side so you be right there. There you go. Is there anything you want to say before we end it?
Nah, man, just honestly looking forward to the Magic games coming up. Some more football coming up.
Yes,
just give me all the sports storylines. I'll take, kind of going to bed at, what time is it? 12:41, where I have to be up at 6 a.m. Give me this every single night over going to work. So let's do a little bit more of this.
Let's do it. Shout out to the Lakers. Hopefully Tyrod Taylor could get us some W's. I'm not one of those Jets fans that wants to lose out. I want to win some damn games.
I have one thing. I do have one thing.
Good.
It is Mason Rudolph season. So let's freaking go, baby. Let's freaking go.
That's gonna do it for us here at Macho Talks Sports. This is episode 16. I'm Macho. That's Daniel. We out.